A movie starring and directed by Denzel, also nominated for many Academy Awards. Sounds interesting. So Fences is directed by Denzel Washington and it stars Denzel Washington and Viola Davis. And it tells the story of this small family, mainly this couple of Denzel and Viola. And this small family and couple living on a hill in Pittsburgh in the 50s, I believe. And it tells the story of their struggle and their marriage and the issues with their family and their kids. And it's an interesting story. Now, getting into the performances a little bit, I think Denzel does an incredible job in this role. I mean, he's truly amazing. The dialogue in this movie is something else. And the issue is that it's kind of obvious that it was a stage play at first because they really don't do much. The camera work's very basic and the characters just kind of walk around in a yard or in a house and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. And I gotta tell you, the dialogue is amazing. Viola Davis does an incredible job in this role. I do believe that her role was Academy Award worthy, and I really think she should have won the Academy Award for this role, which of course she did wind up doing. Now, I felt like all the other supporting roles in this movie were great as well. It's really hard for them to not give a great performance when the dialogue is written so well, so snappily, and it feels very natural, but at the same time kind of unnatural in that very cinematic type of way. And it's almost exhausting. The first sequence is so real feeling, you almost forget you're watching a movie. Now, the issue with this film is you start realizing that you're watching a movie when the pacing becomes incredibly slow. Oh my God, this movie was like watching a marathon at some point, and not in a good way that I felt tired at the end because it was so exhilarating. It felt like a marathon because it was so long and I could not wait for it to be over. Holy mother. I mean, this movie had very, very slow pacing, and I gotta tell you, despite that, I still think it's a very good movie, but boy, the pacing really took me out of the film at some moments. I think Fences does a great job telling this story and throwing some dramatic twists and turns in it, but the issue is that the movie is so bland and bare bones that it's hard for me to talk about it for more than 5 minutes because there's so little to talk about. Great performances, great dialogue, direction that really didn't need much help to create a film, and cinematography that I also think was actually very well done. It's very drab and dark for most of the film, and I thought that really worked overall. Now, granted, the end of this movie is pretty silly, and I felt like some of the character relationships were really not fully explored and a little bit confusing, and there's a lot of stuff in this movie that bothered me. Now, it is actually supposed to bother the audience, so it did a really good job with that, and I really felt some aspects of the story to be truly gripping. All that being said, I think Fences is a pretty good time in your house watching a film, and overall has some incredible performances and amazing dialogue that I think is worth watching, especially if you're trying to study acting or if you're in an acting class or something like that. But I really would not recommend getting the boys together or getting the girls together or getting anyone together to watch this movie. If you're going to watch it, I'd say watch it alone or watch it with a class. Don't watch it for fun because it's not fun. In the end, Fences is, like I said, a okay time. It's not super fun. It's not, well, it's kind of boring and has incredible acting and incredible direction, but it leaves a lot to be desired because of the incredibly slow pacing and rather boring direction. In the end, I'm going to give Fences a 2.8 out of 4. Thanks, guys. That's my review of Fences. I hope you liked it. I hope you drop me a subscribe, drop me a like, whatever it is you do here on YouTube, and I'll see you next week.